What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another installment of Prep Insider. We'll do our mystery reveal. It's the Coronado Islanders.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Fresh off of a dub last night. 3-1, 2-1, 3-1. Numbers mean nothing to me this season.
3-1.
3-1, because some teams are 1-0, some are 4. It's all confused. But 3-1. Let's go down the line. Introduce ourselves. Name, position, grade, please. Just because most of us only know you with a helmet and a number on. So names to faces.
All right, I'm Donnie Couts. I am a right tackle, a tight end, a kicker, and an inside linebacker. And I am a senior.
Greatest position listing introduction I've ever heard.
Will Shoemaker, right tackle as well, left tackle, and defensive lineman, and I'm also a senior.
And where do you fall in the number of Shoemakers? Are there only two of you?
I am the second football player. I have two sisters.
Okay.
But nowadays, maybe, they could come out.
Where you better football player than your brother? Is that a hands down? Because I have to ask, because your brother was on our show, The Grind, when we had, and I felt like he exuded confidence that
I know. So yes, I am, John. I am a better football player than you.
I'm Zane. I'm a senior. I'm number 9. I play running back, D-line, linebacker. I'm the snapper, punt return, all that stuff.
Apparently, we might have to start the concussion protocol with Zane.
Well, no, it sounds like, Coach, you just have too many guys playing too many. Is that what the little wristbands are this time? It's not play calls. It's just here's what positions you play.
Yeah, exactly.
Ace of Valdivia, senior. I play center, nose guard, and I also long snap. And occasionally at practice, I catch punts.
That sounds like that's not a position if you just occasionally at practice catch punts, but I like the optimism. Will there ever be a game where he returns a punt?
I pray not.
There's not like a senior night gift where we'll let him at the final homecoming return a punt or something like
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Unless something goes royally wrong.
No.
No, there is no not. You'll go all out punt block, 11-man rush versus having
Papa
him.
will go in and return the punt.
And Coach, what year for you is this? Now you're 4 years now, 3
it's my
years.
5th year as head coach at Coronado.
5th year at Coronado. My goodness. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys won a trophy last night that I don't pretend to be able to pronounce because I'm learning about new trophies and rivalries and whatnot. But your victory over Mar Vista brings what piece of hardware back to you guys?
Yeah. So Adrian Tafasau played for Coronado years ago. Was a stud. Quarterback, safety. He died tragically, second game of his senior year. So his brother Jeffrey and I connected a few years back. Spoke 2 years ago, came again Thursday night. Just opened up his heart and talked about his why, what his passion was as a player. Now he's a father of 3. He's a bank, works at the bank on the island. And his family comes to every game when we play Mar Vista. So it was a big one for us last night to honor the family.
If those are important notifications, please don't stop us. You
Nothing's
got to coordinate a whole team. So guys, how'd that win feel? How does 3-1? I mean, open-ended question. I know you're going to say, "Oh, our offense did great or defense did great," but at this point, 3-1 has to feel pretty fantastic. Yes,
it was great.
Yeah,
Pretty fantastic. Yes.
What's clicking the most? I mean, every team's going to say we got some room to improve here and there, but are you enjoying the offensive side of things, defensive side of things, just the team vibe? Tell us a little bit about the season.
Team chemistry, like we're playing teams that on paper probably should beat us, and we're taking it to them. Like El Cap was a division above us, and we were able to beat them. And Santana, we should have won but didn't, but we still had a really great game against a team that was division above us. Last year, we played San Marcos Division 1 school, and we're 10-7 at halftime. I think it's just our chemistry and us believing in each other is helping us compete well with teams that are bigger, stronger, but not necessarily better.
Yeah, I'd say defense, we're very, very good. We have great team chemistry. We can stop almost anything. And then offense, we need to bring it up a little bit.
Well, and for you guys, all 4 seniors, most of you have been on varsity at least 2 or 3 years. Yeah, like first year for you, but I want to say that you were on the show, The Grind, as a freshman or sophomore. Like there was a younger group that you took a little bit of we're going to push all the chips in on just getting the youth together, and is that the chemistry that's now paying off?
It's a huge part of it, you know. And I've said this publicly before, and I've said it privately. It's a blessing to have Will back. Will, like his brother John, not a natural athlete. But I mean it's because we all know the world's overpopulated with great athletes who don't give great effort. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Cue that scoop and almost score. Just see the not a great athlete.
So we had a fumble recovery by Will, a scoop, and he picked it up like I get out of bed in the morning. He was looking about an 80-year-old man, but big play. No, but I love
He's
coaching
screaming
guys.
my knees.
Yeah, but you're not going to find someone with greater heart or work ethic. The three other guys were captains last year as juniors. And the growth I've seen, I think the chemistry Asa talked about is huge, but the growth and where we are as a team falls on these guys is really embracing that team mentality of, hey, wherever you're going to play, Donnie has always been a wide receiver for us. And this year, because of lack of depth, had to move into tackle. And other guys are stepping up, and he's now starting offensively, going into each game at tight end, wide receiver, or tackle, depending on.
That feels like an almost, you're going to change the game of football elite, like position package that you've now constructed. Oh, our right tackle is eligible and he's fast and you have no idea where this play is going because we don't either. He's just going to run out and get open. Go to the car and turn left. I am curious. You guys mentioned lack of depth. Get it a lot with the private small schools, and we can close that window so you're not getting hit in the face. I get it a lot with the small private schools of, we got to have a lot of guys going a lot of different directions. But I also think that there's a couple of public schools that get this complete misunderstanding of who goes there and makes up their athletic body. For you guys, it's never been 100 people playing football, like we have to turn people away. And I will always get the generic, like if only they had Wayne McKinney playing football with them, or if only they had, no, but you guys make it do with it's like 25 to 35 guys on the roster every year. Yes. Like you're making this all work consistently with a very small and somewhat, because of the military, transient student base.
Yeah, we always say, excuses and buttholes. We all have them. They all stink. It is. We will get to that point. God willing, we'll get to the point where we have 80, 90 guys in the program. Mark my word on that. But right now, it's a matter of showing up with the guys we have and being the willingness to say, hey, coach, literally not just say play, put me where you need me, but I'll play wherever. And these guys are doing that.
And we usually at most have around probably like 40 guys coming out, but after the people who aren't football players leave, the ones who are there are ready to play and they want to be there.
I think that plays a lot to our success, honestly. There is no fat on this team. Everyone that is there has been there, wants to be there, and just totally plays their heart out. So you're not worried about anything disciplinary. There's no one there that doesn't want to be there and do their best. And that's it's like the leanest machine we have.
So you guys don't want another 20 people. Yes, obviously you'd want them if they were like that, if they were all in, but you don't want another 20
it's
half in, half out type guys.
I'm sure it's nice to kind of have 100 players, but sometimes you can have a team with 100 players that are just people that signed up, or you can have a team of 40 of football players. There's a difference between being signed up for football and being a football player, and we have 40 football players.
You listed about 7 positions. I'm curious, Coach, is there a hell no, never type scenario here with like the same with a punt return, or could we potentially get all 22 spots on the ball played by the end of the season?
To be honest with you, I would put Donnie and Zane at any position. I really wouldn't. I think they could do well with it. Effort-wise, and I mean this with all sincerity, Will and Asa, I would put at probably 3 to 4 positions for each of them, because they're going to – we always tell the guys, if you mess up, go do it 100 miles per hour. And these guys give their all on every play.
For you, Coach, 5 years in, I know that you have seen a lot of different levels. When you were back in New Hampshire, you went from small schools that you built up programs. Christian out here is one of the smallest student body type programs. You involve Coronado's public, but you've now been kind of at all levels of different sizes and different everything. How does this season fit in the grand scheme of where you've been and where you feel? Does this feel like one of the better, more enjoyable setups that you finally got?
It does. And before I get off track here, Christian with Coach Mitchell is firing on all cylinders. He's a ridiculous coach. Absolutely love the man. And they're doing great things over there. Tough loss last night, but they're doing great. Yes.
Deal. Perfect.
Yeah, Danny Mitchell's phenomenal.
Danny Charles Mitchell is how he always needs to be referred to, because he always feels like he's in trouble when you hear his middle name. Because I called him that once on air, and he texted me, goes, only person that uses Charles is my mom or dad when they're mad at me. And so I always have that hanging over them.
No,
Keep
but
going, though.
back to your question. I told the guys this morning, so in the 24 years I've coached high school football, some of the most enjoyable years have been championship years, and some have been 500 years where you just coach as much guys you love, and the love goes both ways. These guys know I would die for them. I would give my life for our players, and I feel like a lot of them would do the same. And when you're surrounded by people that you love, win or lose, you're going to win a lot more on the field and off the field.
Is it a struggle to wear sleeves today?
This is formal, yeah. I feel like I'm going to a wedding right now.
How many more of you are deciding going no sleeves? Has that rubbed off on you guys from Coach Hines?
Yeah, my game day attire is no sleeves now.
Like the whole day to school?
No, I don't think that would fly, but for the game itself, yes.
So can we start the movement of the football team rocks no sleeves to school that day?
We all need to put a little more detail on our arms.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough.
They have been rocking the past 2 Thursdays, I think, on our walkthrough days. I hate leg prisons. I don't like pants. They bring their shorts up to a whole new level where it should almost be illegal, but the shorts are up high.
Can we get some photographic evidence of this next walkthrough? Can we get somebody to take a safe for posting picture? But
we'll ask the trainers. There's some pasty thighs in this team. I'll tell you that. There's some pasty thighs.
I mean, that doesn't make entire. I mean, it makes sense because you're football players and you got the pants on, but it also you're from Coronado. You should be the one team that. Am I being too cliche that you should all be blonde and tan? No, yes,
not really, because there are some Coronado kids there, but I'd say most of us have had different backgrounds. Didn't really grow up in Coronado.
Well, that was playing into kind of what I was saying about people don't really understand the student base at Coronado. It's a lot of people who are not necessarily like born and raised on the island. It's transient military, it's housing and IB. There's a lot of really different setups.
It's just kind of like a belief that it's all like Silver Spoon rich kids when it's not. Because people from the military are not necessarily rich. Sometimes people who even live in Coronado have to live in small apartments. My mom has to work 3 jobs at a time sometimes to live here.
When Coach, you've had how many guys come and go, not spending their whole 4 years of Coronado because of just because their dad was posted there for 2 years and then had to move to Norfolk or whatever it was. Like, you've probably lost a third of your team
it's
over the 4 years.
Last year we had 2 freshmen start for our varsity. One's back, Hudson. One went up to Carlsbad because they need more studs because his father retired from the military. Having the military, having the North Island is a tremendous blessing, but it's a huge challenge also because our culture is a living, breathing organism that is always. It's nice to have a saying on a T-shirt or in the weight room, but it's got to be a living, breathing organism where you have guys that buy in and continue to build that culture from the ground up.
On the flip side, though, is you guys have one of the cooler Friday night experiences. Is that there's kids, there's like the community is actually there. It's not just, our student section turned out tonight was popping. It's people are riding their golf carts to the games, and there's like a whole setup. So can you tell like people a little just about what's kind of unique about Friday night on the island?
Well, honestly, it's just a small town, so like people can be walking, going to get some food or something, and stop by the game, and it's just you don't have to stay for the whole thing. It's just to come and support your team, your only team, and with it being a small island, it's easy to do that.
I want to say it was 2019 homecoming game. We organized a flyover from the base with a Black Hawk helicopter. Probably one of the cooler things.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
How'd you set that up? Like you called them and
We
you're
have,
like, yo, homecoming is up.
We have classmates whose parents are pretty upper echelon in the military and that can kind of arrange that, which is so unique to Coronado, and the fact that happens for our, local high school game is awesome.
I'm just picturing the combo of a Black Hawk and pasty thighs and a shorts. And somehow there's like a little bit of a gap between those two ends, but it works. We'll put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider on Twitter, on Instagram. Does shorts plus Black Hawk helicopters equal 3-1 record for your football team? Who's the rival? I have to refresh myself on everything now because so many schools have different re-league. And is there somebody left on this schedule that you guys have circled as like the chief rival? Was Mar Vista it? Like,
I'd say UC.
UC?
I see we've seen that they're putting up some numbers their past couple of games, but we beat them last year, and we're just looking to do it again this year. But it might be a bigger challenge than it was last year.
San Diego too. Sometimes like a couple years they kind of beat us pretty hard, but in previous years before that, we used to beat them pretty hard. So it's kind of turned into a little tension, and a lot of us played Pop Warner, some of the kids in their team too. So there's a lot of tension, and I feel like that's going to be a good game too.
This sounds so cliche, Christian, but Mar Vista is the longest standing rival from 1951. But every week we play, especially being in the City League now, we got to show up. There's not a single team we're looking past. We have Kearney this coming week, and they got some athletes, they got some studs, and when you start winning, and we don't think we're better than we are. We know we're good. We know what we're capable of. But there's a target on our back anytime you start winning games, and we welcome it. We got to show up every week.
Well, it's pretty conceivable looking at the remainder of your schedule to not just necessarily, I hate doing the list radio where I just bang through names and games, but Kearney, Hoover, San Diego, Patrick Henry, Morse, UC. I think a lot of people would give you conceivably a 6-1, 7-1 record before that final three stretch of the games. So how high are you guys? I mean, you're obviously going to give me the 1-0. We got to always take it a game at a time, but realistically, are you guys starting to look down that schedule and be like, we're in a really good spot, we're right where we want to be?
I think our biggest thing that we're not just saying it but meaning it is getting better every week. We are not the same team from week 1 than we are week 4. We're not going to be the same team week 4 as we are going to be week 6. I mean, our success is based on not looking ahead and staying in the moment and being our best. So we're going to keep doing that.
I think we're still figuring out how good we are as a team, and we keep having these big challenges and still showing up. And I think, we're still trying to figure it out.
Same thing as they said. I think we're doing it week by week, but I have 100% confidence that we can win the league and win those last 3 games despite how good the teams are.
How can you not give him a punt return? He has 100% confidence that you guys can win league, and he's here like repping your team, and you won't give him one punt return?
You know what? Maybe no, I won't. 100% not. No, it happened. It happened in practice. It was a challenge, I think, to get out of a little conditioning, and we had Tristan kick it. He was smart enough to. He's got a great leg. He kicked a short one, pretty high. Asa made the catch, but the fear in his eyes afterwards. Let me believe you can do it in practice.
Just a little bit of pee. Just a little pee came out.
A sumo drill with the other lineman as he had the ball.
I'm curious now that we're past the getting the rust off, and the spring season seems a little bit more in the rear view mirror. Did that help you guys be a better football team now? Was that just I'm trying to still figure this out. Does a 2-week padded spring practice season make for a better football team by fall? Did it not? Do you guys want to go play other sport? I'm still trying to figure out, because it's never going to happen, but it's a great hypothetical because you guys are the one class that has ever been in spring, 3 months before the season, we got a bunch of games and practice in pads.
I think it kind of helped in a way, not necessarily other teams would find it helpful, but it helped us in the way we built a lot of confidence with playing teams like San Marcos, UC, good teams. So I think it built a lot of confidence going into the fall that we knew we could play harder teams and compete with them and even win those games.
Yeah? No, would you guys do multi-sport? I mean, I know at this point you're all seniors, so you wouldn't come back for another spring season, but who plays other sports?
I played, did track and rugby.
Track.
I play basketball and lacrosse.
Coach, your thoughts on incorporating? I mean, I'm sure you have a million different versions of the thought, but just the general thought of if CIF said, hey, every spring we'll do 2 weeks. You can put your team in pads. You get one scrimmage.
Not a fan of it, to be honest with you. I hate when other coaches try to get kids to just play one sport. And in respect to the basketball players, the track, the runners, throwers, you name it, rugby, whatever it is, baseball, I want them, I'm passionate about football, but I want them having a brief spring ball season without playing on the teams is great, but they need to be able to focus on other sports also.
The one argument I've ever heard was Coach Jackson from Madison saying it would keep a lot of kids safer. It would keep a lot of the younger kids who don't have a ton of historical football experience more time to tackle. But I do think it's interesting that time and time again, a lot of football coaches come in here and they're like, no. More football is great, but
there's going to be a certain level of balance
where
you come back hungry after a season. Last year we were blessed to win the Central League in a very short season. But I don't think there's a guy in our program that came back not chomping at the bit to start putting the pads on again and hitting people.
Who are some kids that aren't here with us in studio that maybe people need to know about? You guys are the seniors. Maybe some love to the younger guys.
My younger brother, Elias Valdivia, I don't like to talk great about him all the time, but he's doing good things. He's playing a new position this year, and he's a little bit different than me. I'm a little bit bigger guy. He's more skinny, athletic dude.
That sounds like the highest compliment you've ever paid him in his entire life. Like, I will clip that. I will clip that segment out, and we will send that to your family for posterity's sake.
I'd probably say our quarterback, Hudson Herbert. He's stepped up big last year.
And he's a sophomore?
Correct.
Stepped up big last year, and he's producing and doing really well. So
Started as a freshman.
I'm going to go to the D-line, Finley and Gunnar Tonkin, Finley Alexander. You know, talking about the
You
revolving
can't go wrong
door.
with a football player named Gunner.
Oh, yeah.
You tell me you tell me nothing else about a guy. I got a dude. His name's Gunner. I'm like,
We have two of them.
yes, I'm in. I want this player on my team.
We have two of them.
Okay.
We have two Gunners.
Got a freshman.
I like that. I don't know what that means. That's a statistical anomaly, and I don't know how to make up that. But that's cool.
But yeah, Finley to watch for sure, and Gunner.
Who has really appreciate you guys spending so much time with us. We'll get you out of here in just a few. I got a couple of closing out questions. Who has control of the aux cord this year pregame?
I sent Coach a playlist. I don't think he's approved it yet. I made sure to put a lot of AC/DC in there just to bribe him.
Yeah, it was clearly not approved. I always want in the weight room pregame. I want the players to play their music. It's going to have at least one AC/DC song, and it's got to be clean. And my definition of clean apparently is different than a lot of other people's definition of clean. Some edited songs could still make a deaf person blush.
Which is crazy to me because AC/DC at one point was like Satan rock. Like there was people that were like, people that were like, oh my gosh, that's so aggressive rock. And then now it's considered the clean, because you're right, there is no massive amounts of swear words or anything like that.
Correct.
So it's not entirely. It's a you
It's
guys
a work
have
in
found
progress.
this balancing act with Coach. You guys have found this, Coach. I'll bribe you with. Is it just AC/DC, or do you have to maybe sprinkle in a little bit of other?
I mean,
rock.
Right now, our pregame playlist is all rock.
Okay.
Much to the dismay of a lot of players.
It may be the reason we're 3-1. I'm just saying. Maybe the reason we're 3-1.
I'd say it's still better than we had a playlist a couple years ago that had Shakira on it, and yeah, it was.
That was a classic, and then that was the worst one possible. It feels like there's a divide right in the middle of that couch right there.
I think some people took it seriously, and some people thought it was a joke, but it was real.
It was real?
Was not from my playlist.
Hey, I no longer judge. I had a team in here a couple days ago saying that they only listen to one Beethoven symphony a day. Like, that's what they will do, is they will start a practice, hit play. Most symphonies last about an hour and a half, and
Wow.
that's their only thing they've been listening to this season. And I was like,
Who was that?
it was Christian.
All right.
Yeah. And Coach Mitchell just looked at me, he threw his hands up, and he's like, I don't know, man. I'm new. I don't know what's going on here. Who is, or like, what is, if you don't mind taking us into the vibe of the locker room pregame, just kind of go along the music question, is there the guy who's the team's like emotional leader giving the pregame speeches? Is Coach trying to recapture his get in the corner and punch the wall and be like, you're going to back into a corner? Are you guys more of a loosey-goosey team? Are you serious from 9 a.m. when you get up? Like, what's the vibe of the Islanders this year?
I'd say it's a little mix of it. We got Coach who has the speaking words right before we run out on the field, and then we in the locker room they can't control us. We're just all over the place screaming and stuff, and making jokes. I'd say I talk sometimes in the circle, and then we also switch off with captains. So it's kind of like everybody gets their chance to talk. All the captains get their chance to talk, and then the vibe just depends on what day it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we all kind of play our part. I definitely try and have like a personal connection with every player. I try and check in with them, make sure they're good at halftime, pregame. So we all
just like your
we all
just
do
like your
something.
brother. You're
Yes,
taking care of
just
the
like I
emotional health
learned
of the
exactly from my brother. Yes.
You wear the quarterback jacket too, just in case a
No,
big lineman
and
gets
I
you
have
in the
not.
ribs?
I have not broken out the. He had a hand warmer too in Southern California, which is a bit much. It was a bit much.
You know what, man? It gets down to that mid 60s on a crisp Coronado night. You got to keep the monos warm. What's the goal? What's the legacy that you guys as a senior class want to leave?
I guess us four seniors, we've shown great interest in football and dedication, and we're trying to. I'd say we are trying to leave that with the next class. Trying to teach them have the same dedication, have the same hard work put in, and just work for it.
I think our ultimate goal is to win league again. A lot of us, all of us, except for were juniors last year when we won league, and we were captains, so we were leading the team. So I think it's just to win league again and just leave that to everyone else.
Back-to-back league titles sounds like a pretty impressive mark from where this program has been in terms of its ebbs and flows up and down.
And I think we also want to leave a legacy of like being a family, of seeing when other people see our football team, they see that looks like a family, looks like a bond. And I think there was a kid, Nolan, this year that signed up, and he said the reason he signed up is he looked at us and said we looked like a family. We were tight-knit with each other, and I think that's an important legacy.
Oh, that has to feel awesome. Yeah?
I think in addition to what these guys said, it's
You've trained them all incredibly well.
These guys have blessed me as much as I hopefully bless them. It doesn't matter what we do on the field. Our goal is to win league. But if we don't do it the right way, you're going to have zero respect from anyone, and we're going to look back on our playing and coaching career as wasted time. You know, as coaches, if we only make them better football players, we're failing them. They understand as captains, if they only win games, they're failing their teammates that they're leading. And these guys are doing an amazing job. To be repeat captains for three of them is huge. For Will to not play last year with COVID, we understand, come back his senior year, had been a skill player also. And this year we said, listen, we're going to put you at D-line, O-line.
We can Photoshop you in, by the way, to last year's team. I'm going to just have your head kind of floating in some of the team photos.
These guys get it. They're not just saying it; they're living it. They understand that it takes a lot more than just being a good football player to build a championship football team.
I can leave that on no better note than that. So I will say, check out the Islanders. They've got a game at Kearney, which I am now realizing is why you said I'm so close to Kearney. I will be there on Friday. That's badass. But we will have the record. I'm looking. You guys have already had your bye week?
No, it's
after Kearney. So this is a big week for them. One more win, then the bye week, and then the home stretch of the season. We'll have all the information as to how you can check out all of their games the rest of the season. Thank you guys so much for being in with us. And is there is it just go Islanders? Is there any sort of saying or anything like that? Any motto this year?
It might wake up your neighbors, but we'll have the seniors. You can either talk them through or tell them what we do when we break down usually. Who are we?
Who are we?
So I don't know if I want to yell, but we'll do like a "Who are we, Islanders? Who are we, Islanders? How do we hit hard? How do we hit hard? This is our house." Ooh.
I can understand all of that without it having to be yelled at me, so I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, sports fans.